Hello out there, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Please, allow me to start off by saying that as far back as I can remember, people have said one consistent thing about me. He's in his own world. And you know, they were right. And I'd love to welcome all of you to it. Welcome to my world. Welcome to the Wretched Theater. Enter at your own risk. Well, here I am. I'm back again. And so are all of you. And you can't imagine how happy I am to see all of you. As I'm sure that you're very happy to see me too, right? Oh, you had nothing better to do than to come here. Well, that's okay. All of you came here to be entertained, and entertained you shall be. Now, before I do anything, I have to sincerely apologize to all of you for not being here for quite some time. So much has happened since the last time we saw each other. My wife is not well. I mean, granted, people have always stared at her and wonder what's wrong with her. And then they meet me and then they say, oh, that's what it is. But no, I mean, physically she's not well. I ended up getting a new job that totally burned me out. I mean, I was so burnt I had to carry a copy of my dental records just to identify me. I lost the love of my life, my happy girl, my dog. I lost my oldest sister. She's the one that turned me on to horror movies. And no, sit down. You don't have to help me find them. When I say that I lost them, I mean that they passed away. And I miss them more than you could ever know. So, I mean, just so much has happened since the last time we saw each other. And I just have to apologize. Now, today in the Wretched Theater, I'm going to show you the very first monster model I ever got in my life. And it's a good one. I'm going to show you some really cool Dark Shadows stuff. Come on, everybody out there remembers running home from school to watch Dark Shadows. Come on now. I'm going to tell you some jokes, tell you some funny stories, and then I'll leave you with something to think about. But anyway, I just wanted to... Oh, you have a question? No, I do not comb my hair with a pillow. Aren't you just hilarious? You know what? Sit down and shut up. I think I'm going to change the name of this show to the Sit Down and Shut Up Show. Comb my hair with a pillow. Come on, let's do this. Come on, show us some cool stuff, Tay! Ha ha ha! Here it is. This is some really cool Dark Shadows stuff. I got the original model kits. I got Barnabas Carlin's car. I got the game. I got the original cast shirt that was only available at the Dark Shadows conventions. I got Barnabas Carlin's ring. You gotta see this. This will really, really impress you. I actually got two of these, and they were $35 each. And like I said, they were only available at the Dark Shadows conventions. Can you see inside there? I had two. I actually sold one to one of the guys from the Toy Hunter. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. I never have, but... Now, I would also like to show you Dark Shadows #1. That is a gold key comic. Yeah! Let me see if I can get the glare. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and for a long time, I have been meaning to frame this, although I never actually got around to it. I know, shame on me, I know. But that's a great, great poster. Now, I would like to add to all of you that during the pandemic, I never caught the COVID. I mean, I really didn't worry about the coronavirus because I don't drink Mexican beer. Oh, anyway, I never caught the coronavirus. I think I have a very good immune system, and I attribute that to the fact that when I was a little kid, I used to play this game all the time. The Barnabas Collins Dark Shadows game. Now let me show this to you. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this cover off. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to show you the instructions. Now, I'm sure that you could freeze frame it and zoom it in and you could read it. But what it is that each person has to build a complete skeleton. And you see, the way that works is, you'd spin, okay, that landed on a stake, of course, and let's spin again. Now that's a lower leg. Now you can't take that because you don't have an upper leg. But anyway, to make the long story short, each kid had to build a complete skeleton. Now, in this coffin, there are enough bones to build 4 complete skeletons. Barnabas Collins ring, which is wild. If you get that on the spinner, you get to take any bone you want. Now, if you land on a stake, you have to take the stake. If you get 3 stakes, you have to put the stakes back in the coffin and you have to put a bone back. And, you know, that's how the game works. Now, the first person to build a complete skeleton, not only do they get to wear Barnabas Collins' ring, but they get to use the hint, hint, wink, wink, community fangs. Yes, the community fangs. So let's say that I won this game, right? So here it is. I get to wear Barnabas Collins' fangs because I won. Ha ha ha. Well, what are we going to do now? Let's play again. Now, we play a whole game again. Another kid wins. What happens? He gets to wear Barnabas Collins' ring. The fangs come out of my mouth and right into his mouth. Well, let's play again. Another kid wins. The fangs come out of his mouth right into that other kid's mouth. You see? The community fangs. That's what I attribute to having such a good immune system. Anyway, let's put this back here. Now, I'm going to show you the very first monster model I ever got. And here it is. You're looking at it. Barnabas Collins. This was the first monster model I ever got. I couldn't believe that I was actually able to put a monster model together and bring it to show and tell. To show all the kids like they all brought their models, their monster model kits. Well, I couldn't wait to do it until, wait for it, get ready, I found out that I had to use Tester's model glue to put it together. When my mother heard about that, oh no. According to my mother, if you just simply open a tube of Tester's model glue, you will instantaneously cause a fire. You didn't know that, did you? Did you know that if you put a plastic bag on a counter somewhere, some kid will just walk up to it, impulsively put it over his head, suffocate, and die? Yeah, my family's sitting around having pizza. My sister wants a slice. I pass it to her. My mother says, "Motto, don't pass pizza like that. You can poke your sister's eye out." It's always going to be some big catat. You know what? Somebody stop me. I'm getting off the subject here. I'm talking about this. I'm so sorry. Anyway, that is the first monster model I ever got. The great Barnabas Collins. Wow, would you just look at that? Yep, I painted that myself. The werewolf. You notice the rat, the spider, the lizard, of course the bat. I got the tree trunk. That's missing on a lot of the model kits. Great. Now, what I have to mention to you is, these kits were not made by Aurora. That's why the artwork is not as sharp as the Aurora kits. But I have to say the truth, though. Look very carefully. They pulled out all the stops. Beautiful artwork. And if you notice, there's a hanging man. A hanging man on the box. Where would that come from? Why didn't they just put a creepy clown on the box? I mean, where would that come from? That's the Barnabas Collins kit. Notice the rat right there. And here, take a look at this on the fence right here. I mean, of course, you see that everywhere on every graveyard, right? I'll tell you, they really pulled out all the stops on this artwork. Beautiful. Now, the last thing I would like to show you is yep, the Dark Shadows record. What you know about that? And the original posters. There's Quentin. Hey, let me ask you something. How many out there thought that Engelbert Humperdinck was Quentin on Dark Shadows? I can't be the only one that thought that, right? Oh, wow. I should have been ready for this. Sorry about that. And that's some of my really cool Dark Shadows stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. Most importantly of all, I hope that I entertained you. But anyway, as of now, what do you say we move on to the next segment? I kind of thought you were going to say yes. The really rad bad dad joke. Now, what did the computer say to the keyboard when it came out of the car, oh boy, did I have a hard drive. Now, my grandson, who's extremely intelligent, I mean very smart. The only time that people think that he's not smart is when they see him with me. But he's in the computer science program at Passaic Tech. Extremely intelligent. Now, I bought this computer in Washington, D.C. in 2015. It literally sat in the box for 3 years before I even tried to use it. And I never really got that good at it. I know so little about computers that, believe it or not, when I was in college, I actually tried to write a paper on a computer once, and every time I'd make a mistake, I'd put white out on the screen. They told me not to do that. Who knew? But my grandson, he asked me, do you know anything about a computer, Papa T? And I said, yes, Anthony. I know that if you bring a computer into Starbucks or Panera, you could sit there all day long and not buy anything. Other than that, that's all I know. And speaking of academic achievement, why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Oh! Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. What do you say? I knew you'd say yes.
It's soaking wet.
Okay, let me start this funny story segment off by saying that when I was a little kid, my mother forbid me from watching monster movies. Ever since I saw the original Dracula and I scared the piss out of myself, my mother forbid me from watching monster movies. That's it. I was forbidden from watching the Three Stooges when I was a little kid. My mother was convinced that if you let your kids watch the Three Stooges, they will poke somebody's eyes out. They will hit somebody over the head with a hammer. My mother was a very intelligent woman. Now, how she did not know that if you were to hit somebody in the head with a hammer, their head will flatten out for a second and it'll pop right back into shape. Everybody knows that. You know that. I know that. How did she not know that? But anyway, I'm sure that you know that when I was a kid, I was in trouble all the time. As a matter of fact, for a long time, I thought that I was God. Yeah, every time I'd go somewhere, people would say, Jesus Christ, are you back here again? But there came a time where my sister, who I just lost, May 11th, 2024, last year, she was 16 years older than me. And, well, anyway, there came a time where my parents decided that, you know what? He's getting into too much trouble. He's going to have to go to his sister's house to be watched by her, right? So every weekend they would ship me off to spend the weekends with my sister, my oldest sister, right? Well, of course, when I went there, I got to watch Creature Features on Channel 5. I got to watch Chiller Theater on Channel 11. Yeah, you know, the one that was originally hosted by Zachary. I got to watch Boris Karloff's Thriller. Friday nights we would go to the drive-in movies and watch the schlockiest, cheesiest horror movies that you can imagine. But anyway, on Saturday night, when I went to her house for Creature Features Chiller Theater, she would always set up Wise potato chips with French onion dip. She would get Brookdale black cherry soda, and she would cook Tree Tavern pizza. This was every Saturday night. She would cook at least 4 or 5 pizzas in the oven. Tree Tavern pizza, right? Well, I'm going to fast forward to 2007. I'm getting ready to go to the Chiller Theater, right? My buddy Kevin. This is a shout out to Kevin Clement. Thank you for all the years of Chiller Theater. I mean, great times. Anyway, He has an early pass for me to meet Zachary and Elvira. I'm in my awe. I'm getting ready to go. And of course, my wife pulls her last minute crap. There's always a letter that has to be mailed at the last minute. There's always something that has to get picked up at the last minute. There's always something that has to be dropped off at the last minute. Oh, well, I'm getting ready to go. She tells me that we need this. We need that. We need this. And I'm like, Dee, I'm about to go to the show, but you're going to be gone all weekend. We need this in the house. You can't not go without this. I was so fuming. I was pissed. So what did I do? I get in my car. I drive up the hill to Essex Green to the ShopRite. I start picking up her stuff. I was literally in a rage, right? Well, somehow, some way, I ended up in the frozen section, and I saw a Tree Tavern pizza. I couldn't believe it. I haven't seen that since I was a little kid. There was one in the freezer, and I got it. I couldn't believe I found this. So anyway, I paid for her stuff. I went back down the hill to my house. I give her stuff, and I show it to her. And I say, Dee, look what I found. And I opened the box with a razor blade. I put the pizza in the freezer. I got in the car, and I made it just in time to the Chiller Theater. I had my backstage early pass. I go meet Zachary and Elvira, and wait for it, get ready. Zachary and Elvira signed it for me. Yes, you don't know anybody that has a Tree Tavern pizza box signed by the great Zachary and the great Elvira. And I'll never, I'll never forget when she saw this, and she said, "You know, I'm kind of hungry. I sure wish that pizza boy would get here. And later on, if we're still hungry, we could always eat the pizza." But anyway, yeah, that's my funny story for today. And, oh, by the way, did I ever tell you the joke about the pizza? You know what? Nah, it's way too cheesy. You don't want to hear it. Oh! Thank you so much.
Oh! Now it's time for Terrible T's Warped Words of Wisdom. Oh!
Now, before we go, everybody, I just want to leave you with something to think about. How many times in your life have you had somebody try to talk you into something? They tried to talk you into something, into purchasing something, into obtaining something, something that you don't necessarily want and more than likely don't even need. And they're very persistent. They try their hardest to talk you into this. And then when you softly decline, they always try to pull that golden ace out of their deck. Yep, they're going to play their trump card. They're going to try to use these magic words. Come on, you only live once, right? You only live once, right? No. The next time somebody tries to hit you over the head with that stale statement, that old lame cliche, you make it your business to let them know that no, you only die once, you live every day. So that's my words of wisdom for you today. The next time somebody tries to talk you into something and they use that tired line, come on, you only live once. Come on, we're all going to say it together. No, you only die once. You live every day. So, with that, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Once again, I want to apologize for not being here for so long. And I'm honestly, truly going to try to do this once a month. I mean, I got a whole lot going on in my life. And, I love doing this. I mean, can you tell? Anyway, I'm going to leave it with that to think about. And thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you for stopping by again. I love all of you. Thank you. I'm out.